Attention Institute personnel. At the top of the month, we launched our new series, The Way of Worldbuilding, and we described the initial few episodes as a kind of extended prologue. We would cover some of the world-building basics, and then decide what kind of world we'd be creating to serve alongside our series as a case study. Last week, the polls opened, and by now we have our answer. The prologue is over, and the Orion Arm, our science fiction setting, will be the case study for The Way of Worldbuilding. Over the next 2 months or so, we'll be sticking to the reduced schedule we're currently operating under. Now that we actually know what kind of setting it is we're making, there's a ton we need to do and a lot of stuff we can finally pull the trigger on. Not the least of which is actually figuring out what we're going to call this setting. I saw a few comments from people concerned there might be some confusion between our new setting and Orion's Arm, another world-building project, but not to worry, the Orion Arm might be the part of the galaxy our setting takes place within, but it's not the name of the universe itself. Right now, we're thinking of just calling it Dawn of Victory 2289 again, but who knows, maybe we'll think of something better. Whatever we're calling it, hopefully we'll have that figured out by December though. We're aiming to get our secondary channel, the place where we're actually releasing all the lore and stuff, up and running by then. So, if you specifically want to keep on top of the content we're creating for the science fiction universe, you'll find a link in the description. Additionally, in December, the Templin Institute will be back to our regular release schedule with our usual content. The next episode of The Way of Worldbuilding will also be released somewhere in this window, and it's going to cover all the essential elements that make our universe what it is. We've been calling these the pillars of a world, and this video will be a much more in-depth explanation / rant / manifesto talking about all the ideas I have for the setting. Is it more like Alien or Mass Effect? What's the role of geopolitics and ideology? How many spaceships are there? All that high-level stuff. We're hoping to end future episodes of The Way of Worldbuilding with a brief Q&A session about whatever topic it is we've discussed, so for this next episode, if you have any high-level questions about the themes, inspiration, or foundational elements of our Orion Arm, Dawn of Victory setting, whatever it is we're calling it, let me know in the comments. The comments of this video so they can be answered in the next one. Was that clear? So that's about what you can expect to see over the next few months, and I hope everyone is excited to see where the Orion Arm goes and what it can turn into. But I also want to talk to the people who might feel disappointed by the results of that recent poll, which you'd assume would be about half of those who voted based on the results. And quick side note, thank you to everyone who did vote, the turnout was pretty incredible. But if you were disappointed that Tyrell or Tangali didn't win, I'm sorry, that sucks. We try to involve our community whenever feasible, but that doesn't change the fact that when we do these polls, not everyone's choice can win. We also saw a lot of comments from people saying that the results of the vote didn't come as a huge surprise to them. Those alternate worlds involving starships and interstellar empires tend to perform best on this channel, so the Orion Arm was likely always going to have an advantage. We spent months developing each of these settings so that no matter which one won, we'd be able to hit the ground running, but like you, I had a feeling of which way the wind was going to blow. So why even have a poll then? Well, there's a few reasons. The first and most basic is that I could have been wrong. I am 0 for 2 in predicting the winner of Stellaris Invicta, and until that poll goes live, who knows what's going to happen. I had 3 ideas, and I wanted to see what people would think of each one. But the other reason has more to do with another poll we posted about a week before that official one went live. Without having seen any of the settings, knowing nothing about them aside from each genre, here is how people voted. As much as I was interested in the results of that official poll, I was also paying attention to the change between these two. I was hoping we'd see the results narrow a bit, and while Tangali just managed to barely hold on to its core supporters, I think Tyrell surprised a lot of people. So here's what that means for this series. The Orion Arm winning means that our case study will be rooted in science fiction. But I want the Way of Worldbuilding itself, the guides we produce, to be able to cover any genre. We won't shy away from discussing topics more closely associated with fantasy, and when we do, we might try to find some way to incorporate the world of Tyrell or even Tangali as examples. We are a niche YouTube channel with limited resources, so what exactly we can do in this regard is something we'll need to figure out, but at the very least, know that we are looking for ways to keep these worlds around. So I'll end things here by pointing out that at its core, the Way of Worldbuilding is meant to be a guide showing you my process. If you're still passionately disappointed that Tyrell or Tangali didn't win, ask yourself this. Am I really so much of a world-building genius that only I can come up with these awesome ideas? Of course I am. So that's why you should follow along with what I have to say. While it might be tempting to start work on your own page-long argument over why this vote was pointless or the wrong setting won, the best you can hope for, the very best, is a place in the folder where we screenshot all the dumbest comments people leave. And while I don't want to take away from the accomplishment of ending up in that folder, wouldn't you rather be a page into developing the outline of your own setting? Something that might one day leave my version of Tyrell or Tongaldi in the dust? Some members of our community are already doing this. The poll hadn't even ended before a group of world builders on our Discord server started working on their own version of Tyrell. That's the point of this series, and it's thrilling to see that examples like that one have popped up so soon. In the future, we're going to provide some resources for people and groups looking to do this sort of thing for themselves and come up with some ways to share their work. For now though, check out our Discord server. Whether you're looking for a group of people developing a shared setting, or you want to talk about your own, I'm sure you'll find someone there willing to talk to you about it, and about 5 people willing to get into an argument with you about it. So until next time, thank you to everyone who cast their vote, win or lose. We'll see you all in the Orion Arm and beyond. The Templin Institute investigates the nations, factions, and organizations of alternate worlds. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to join the Templin Institute, consider pledging to our Patreon page. Along with increased security access, you'll be able to vote in polls to determine future topics, get custom wallpaper every week, and receive some other exclusive rewards.